Hi, and welcome to Teaching Tuesday. Oh, there goes my cat. Psychic medium Renee Richards, and I am presenting Teaching Tuesday today. I offer mentoring also on my website. So I do a lot of teaching, and I think that we all have to talk about teaching. We need to talk about spirituality. So that's why I do Teaching Tuesday. This is about spiritual empowerment, but it's also about using spirituality as a crutch. And all I truly believe that is that when we use it as a crutch, we are not, to be spiritual, I mean really to be very, very spiritual, you should be able to protect yourself. And I don't even like the word protection, but I'm going to use it because I can't think of another word. I can think of a color. I can think of a picture in my head, but I can't think of another word, so I use protection. And really we're talking about protecting yourself from other people's emotions. And so a lot of people say, well, I can't go to the store. I can't go in crowds of people. I can't go to the movies. I can't do this. I can't do that. Now some of that I think is really legitimate. But then there's the ones that are like, I need that workshop, then I can do it. I need that book, then I can do it. I need that way of doing it, then I can do it. And I can't go in crowds, can't go in the store. I can't. Some of that is very legitimate. I'm not saying that it isn't. But what I'm saying is that if you're living your life that way and you're okay with it, then that's fine. And I also pretty much believe that if you want to live hermit, kind of, like a hermit, or, stay in a lot, and I shouldn't even label it, but can't think of another word to express what I'm saying, then that's okay. But when you're doing it, and if you're depressed, or you really wanted to go to that party, or you really wanted to go to that store, or you really wanted to do that, and you couldn't find it in yourself to do it, then that's when you're looking for more spiritual empowerment. And it really is quite it can be very, very lonely when you're doing that to yourself if you're not okay with it. Now, I am okay with it. But I go to the show. I can go in large crowds. I can go to the store. I can get out. I can do all those things. But if I get too much of it, it kind of, I get tired. So, really it's a spiritual empowerment. And if you are a spiritual person, even if you're an empath or a psychic or a medium or a tarot card reader or whatever you do, or just a spiritual person, you really do need to be able to go out into crowds and to do things that you want to do. And so spiritual empowerment is awareness of who and what we are, awareness of our psychological and spiritual selves, bring psychological and spiritual into balance, and using creative and intuitive tools to help us, and using practice, discipline, and then keeping those tools for us every day. So and I truly believe that a lot of people who are empathic, not even empathic, that's not what I mean. I believe that a lot of people who have panic attacks, depression, bipolar, not all, but some, and other problems like that are people who are intuitive and they're picking up on energy. And they're knowing this energy, and when it comes into their field, they're feeling it. And sometimes they will have panic attacks. Even Teresa Capito, the famous medium, used to have horrible panic attacks. And she finally realized that was spirit coming to her and talking to her. So it really changed her life when she finally went to a teacher who could help her learn how to manage that. Now, also, a lot of things that you pick up if you are an empath is you can pick up depression, sadness, anger, even other people's panic attacks, and fear, feeling scared. And so, but there are ways of circumventing that whole thing by using grounding techniques, clearing, invoking the golden bubble, and telling people to stay in their own energy, and symbols. And I'm telling you, at a certain point of spiritual growth, you have a command at your fingertips. Now, it didn't start for me that way. And, I think back and I keep saying, 20 years I've been reading. It's really been longer than that because I'm forgetting how much time's going by. I kind of don't want to remember, but I'm okay with that. But anyway, so it's been a long time of this, but when it first started and I would get panic attacks, it was the same thing like with Teresa Caputo, with spirit coming close to me. But how I experienced it was a little different. When spirits would come close to me, I would flush. I would, my heart would start racing. I would turn red, and I would have big red blotches all over my body. I would start to sweat, and then I would see spirit. So when I finally figured out what that was, it was almost as soon as I figured it out, it stopped. But I also started doing a lot of spiritual work, and that's what got everything into alignment. And I would notice also when I was out and about with people, I would feel the same thing. It could be just anything from picking up a phone and there's a telemarketer on the other end. And then there you are, and they're all, maybe they had a bad day or something like that, and it's just invading you. So you have to be able to do something for that. It's hard to live that way when you're that sensitive. So there are tools that you can use. Here's one of my most favorite tools. Because it's called a Hunab Ku. I'm probably not saying it right, but Hunab is one state of being and Ku is God. What I do with this is before I'm going into any room, and really, I think the next one tells, it can be it can be used to achieve balance and harmony in life because of its intrinsic powers of uniting or bridging opposites. It can also be used to connect one's inner being with one's external body or to achieve oneness with the universe. Hunab Ku symbol is a testament to the belief that it can unite opposite forces, which is kind of like the yin-yang symbol, and this is kind of like that. But I use this with the archangels too. I use Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Ariel, and I also, well, no, anyway. So what I do is before, like if I'm going to go to a store, this is just one tool, there's other ones, but this is one where I will imagine this hanging in the middle of the store, and it's keeping everybody in their own field. And that's how I set the intent of it. I say I'm asking for everybody to stay within their own field. And then everybody, I'm actually commanding it. I'm asking. We always ask instead of command. But asking, after a certain amount of time, it just keeps happening. It will happen instantly. Nothing happens that fast when you first start. So I would always have a picture of that, and I would look down on it, on the picture, and I would imagine that hanging in a store, in a hotel room. Hotel rooms were the worst. Not only can't stand them because I always think they're dirty. That's why my husband can't get me to go anywhere. We have a trailer. But anyway, if we go to nice ones, it's okay. But like those Motel 6s, it really makes me. Hi, Karen. And let's see, who else is here? Marie. Hi, Marie. And Melissa. Hi, thanks for being here. So this works really well. And it changes the energy of a room. So you know that the 4 archangels are there with you in those directions that it's pointing in. There's a spiral in the middle, and it's keeping everything in alignment. And I'm asking people, when I do that, to stay in their own fields. And people really pretty much will. I mean, even when I'm talking to someone now, you don't hear me say it, but I will say, I'm asking you to stay in your own field. Unless I'm reading them, then that's a whole different ball game, right? Yeah, it's a great. I use that in the beginning. That was something that was simple for me to do because I was having such a problem in hotel rooms because I was traveling with my husband all the time. I don't do that anymore, only because I'm bored stiff now. But back in the day, he would go to Vegas and Reno, and he was doing, it was like a truck big thing manager or something. Hey, we go here, we go there, here, there. And it was it was a lot of movement for me. So I understand how empaths are, and I think I'm an empath too, but, and really sensitive people. So everyone on the planet talks about the golden bubble of light. And yes, I do think that works. And it's a very simple, basic, way to, keep other people's energies out. Part of being spiritual is being sensitive and intuitive and noticing everything. And that's what gets people who are sensitive into trouble. I mean, I notice the strangest things. So I started watching people, and this isn't even psychic, but this is how I am. I'm a watcher. So I was watching this man sit there, and I was watching his foot go like this. And I'm going, oh my God, that man has high blood pressure. And really, it was his pulse that was on his leg, and it was kicking his leg up like that every time. And I watched it, I started counting it. And that's how obsessive I can get. So, and then pretty soon, he's got this going on, and then pretty soon I'm looking at that, and who's that standing next to him, and he had a bad night last night, and that's so sad. Before you know it, I'm in there like Flynn. So as soon as you start noticing yourself doing that, then it's time to pull your energy back. Use your golden bubble. And I always use it as a golden bubble. That's exactly what it looks like. It's pure gold. It goes all the way down around the bottoms of your feet and all the way up the top of your head. Yeah, it is the nurse in me. I'm always looking at it. And the shapes of people's thumbs, you can tell a lot by someone's thumbs. And so, heart conditions, if they're real rounded, they look like paddles, kind of like, there's all kinds of things. The condition of their hair, their skin, anyway. Okay, so the golden bubble, is wonderful. So what do you do? Well, I have to go to the post office. And you know how that woman usually has that look on her face, and I can just feel she's pissed off. And she's always pissed off. And I really just don't feel like feeling that energy right now. So I'm going to put the golden bubble around me. I'm going to invoke it. Now, when you first start invoking it, like I said, nothing happens magically. It's not snapped there. It's done forever. You have to practice using it. So you invoke the golden bubble, and you use your imagination to bring that bubble around you, the golden bubble. And nothing can penetrate past it. Nothing. It's very, very impenetrable. So, and really, use your imagination to touch it, to touch the bubble, and to see it brilliantly golden with lots of white in it, and you can even put purple around it. You can even use angels in it. You can see angels standing behind you if that is something that will help. And I'll tell you, when you think of it, it starts to happen. It is thinking it. It's seeing it, doing it, believing it, moving it. And so I believe the golden bubble does help. And it really can help a lot of people. Do I have any other tools on here? Oh, yeah. And really, the harmony of your true being is your ultimate protection. What the hell does that mean, right? Well, the harmony of your true being is, if you have a connection to your soul's always in harmony, and you ask to come into God harmony, then you also have that protection around you. And like I said, I don't like to use the word protection. Now look at that picture. See how there's that pillar of light that is around them? And that's exactly what this is. This is a mantle of light. But we don't have to go into doing the whole thing. We can envision that up above our heads, above the soul star. You would envision it a little bit higher, and it's really a brilliant light. And then that cascades down. Now, if you're using that, if you want to use that as a picture and invoking the mantle of light, that really does help too. And what the mantle of light does over time as you use it, it actually reflects back to people sometimes what the thoughts that they have in their minds. And what I mean is, like, if somebody's trying to get into your energy, not because they're mischievous or evil, no, because it's the way it is. Our energies mix. They mix. We're all, if you have two people, if you watch two people, one comes in and then stands there, and then the next one comes in to the room, if that one looks at the other one, they start to reach over energetically to connect with them. If they find them physically attractive, it moves fast. Like with men and women, like a man will look at a woman and go, I like her, she's cute. And that's why I think a lot of women get like really irritable and pissed off when men do something like that, or women on women. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, because they can feel that and they're not looking for it. Now, if you're looking for that, then that's a different, scenario there. So it's really about protecting yourself from other people's energy. You can go out and do the things that you want to do. It is, now, and like I say, I just wrote my blog, but I haven't put it out yet, was that it's okay to be a hermit. It's okay. And so if you're happy with it, but if you're not happy with it, then something has to change. And I think that's it. Okay. So I'm going to read you the mantle of light. And this is like when I'm first teaching students, guess what the first thing you get? This mantle of light. And it's a mantle of light decree. So I'm going to read it. Like I practically know it by heart. Beloved presence of God, I am in me. I gratefully acknowledge in my mind and accept in my feelings the living reality of your mantle of electronic light substance, enfolding me in a blazing aura of ever-expanding protection. From within my heart, I feel the pulsation of the flame of divinity, the presence of the Christ radiating through my consciousness, through which flows at all times the virtues, qualities, and blessings from God to me, through me, to all life everywhere. I also acknowledge and accept the mighty armor of light and invincible momentum of faith, so lovingly offered to me by Archangel Michael and my own angel of protection, and with loving conviction I decree. The light of God is eternally victorious. I live this day in God's light. God is in control wherever I am. The harmony of my true being is my ultimate protection. And so it goes on longer, but I mean, if you just did those first three without saying the decrees and just started to invoke the energy, it would come down. Yeah. Avoiding eye contact is good with someone who seems to be negative. That's what Marie's saying. And I agree. You can sense it. When you sense it, like if I sense something coming from someone, I will move away. I'll knock them out. No, I won't. I move away. I just move away. So, and then I wanted to go over these. So spiritual empowerment entails awareness of who and what we are. It encompasses awareness of our everyday psychological, not physiological, and spiritual selves, finding ways of bringing both into balance with one another. The path leading to this is by no means easy and often requires perseverance and drawing upon a variety of creative practices. And it takes discipline and skill. Just as in driving a car or playing a piano, we also need them and more in order to discover our true selves. With spiritual empowerment, you're not afraid to go into those places because you know you're protected. You've done it enough and you've invoked it enough where you can feel the protection. I am such a silly person at times. I'm goofy as heck. Like, right before I do group readings, I am absolutely, you can't even talk to me. I am such a nervous wreck. And I do all my grounding and clearing work and, my protection work and everything. And I know that I'm all set to go and I get out there and I'm fine. But getting me out there, it's almost like somebody has to take me by the back of the shirt and the pants and haul me out there. And then when I'm there, something else takes over. But I'm feeling it even before I go. I'm like, it's so silly. And as soon as I get there, everything's fine. But I have to have tools to use, and I have to have that spiritual empowerment where I'm like, once I'm out there, it just takes over. But getting to that point, can sometimes be really hard for me. The majority of the time, it is. Every now and then, it's okay. Now, for me to go places, I just walk like I own the joint, and I'm constantly saying, everybody stay in their own field. You stay in your own field. You stay in your own field. I'm asking everybody in this building to stay in their own field now. And I just command it, and it's like I have stood in the middle of a store and grounded and then said, I'm commanding everybody stay in their own field, and I go, boom, and it's almost like I can see waves moving through it. And not everybody's going to have that reaction. I understand that. I don't own the joint. I wish I did. Whoa. And so, so let's say somebody who's just very sensitive and doesn't have a lot of this, what the heck do you call it? So much sensitivity is like I do, okay? They have less. You still have to command it because you're still going to pick up on stuff and you're going to be sensitive. So what I'm saying is you have to command the situation. And so the next one is know that you're an individual expression of eternal spirit and that it permeates all life in the universe. You have to remember, when you're spiritual and you're doing meditations and you're reading books and you're listening to CDs and maybe you're going to workshops, every step you take in that way, you are opening more and more and more and more. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're making more connections and more connections and more. And so you are expanding. And not only are you expanding spiritually, it goes into your regular life too, so that you can find the balance of both of them. But there is a psychological balance. There is a psychological component. You have to realize your mind has the power to bring you closer to the divine and to finding truth in all things. Our minds have the power to bring about a deeper understanding of what the divine is in relation to us and how it functions as us. And that's really interesting. And it's true. Our minds have the power to direct what we want. It takes practice, it takes discipline, and that's why people are always saying, watch your thoughts. Well, you know, you can think, yeah, I wish that person was dead, but that doesn't mean that person's going to drop dead. Even though, now, if you think that over a long period of time, eventually something's going to get sick or something's going to happen. So, in essence, what you're thinking is what you're sending out, and that is also your commands. You have power there. Once you start to really believe you can really do a lot. Right now, I have asthma because I'm allergic to damn cats, and you know I got a cat. And I love cats, lions, I love them, love them, love them. But I'm allergic to them, so I get asthma. And like if I'm in a house, I'm itching as I'm saying that, because I break out in hives too, but I have for a long time. But asthma I get. Okay, so what am I doing? Well, I know the people at work isn't picking up my would you please just shut up or well, if they were sensitive, they would be, because I can sure feel it when somebody's feeling like that, like get out of my space. And a good example of that was last Friday night on that reading show. There were like 3 people I couldn't read. The first person, that was just a confusion of something. I don't know what that was. But the last 2, I felt like it was like, you know what? I don't really believe in this. Now you tell me. You tell me. And when that happens, if somebody's like that and I've got a short amount of time, it just cuts me off. They weren't open. They didn't feel open. So people who are sensitive can definitely tell that you're saying, please shut up or get out of my space. I know I would. I would know it right away. I can pick up on stuff like that in a snap. And I can pick up on people, I can tell their whole personality by looking at them and just watching them talk for like a minute. I'm like, I gotcha. I know who you are. So people that aren't that sensitive might not pick up on it, but if they're a little bit, they should really, Christy, they should pick up on that. Okay. Awaken to the infinite qualities of good within you. Ooh, that's a toughie. As we start to open to spirit powers and abilities, we should also awaken to spiritual understanding and manifest qualities such as love, respect, compassion, and empathy. These are inherent within us. So spirituality, what it does, once you have that empowerment and it starts and you start learning, and you know that there is this psychological part of it because you have to work on that part of who you are. And you have the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious minds. You have the bodies, and all these things you're working on. And as you're working on them, you're working through each step. So you know that, God, I'm getting hot. You know that, you have to look at yourself. So there's a lot of reflection. Spirituality makes you reflect on yourself. What kind of person that you are. Is this who I want to be? Am I having the qualities that I find that I want, what I want to be? And spirituality seems to take you over and possess you. And every quality that you have that you don't like, it comes forward and you have to face it. The shadow side of yourself, and work your way through it and accept yourself and love yourself. Oh, I was talking about the asthma and I didn't go ahead about it. Okay. So that I don't need even any more medication. I used to have to use an inhaler. I don't have to anymore. What I do is I ground myself, of course. And then I work through the pillar of light and all that. Then I do my soul star stuff and earth star stuff. And then when I'm in that place, that peaceful place of being balanced with clarity and being connected and harmony and all that, that's when this is exactly what I say. I'm asking my mind to open the airways in my lungs, and I'm asking my body to listen to my mind. So my mind, the mental aspect of me, my mental body, my mental mind, I am asking for that to start to open up. I also am invoking the I am presence. That has to be running. It all has to be running in together. So when that happens, and then I take 2 deep breaths, and it's gone. Gone. I was so excited when I first did it. I ran out my husband, I was screaming, and I go, oh my God, I did it. And he goes, what the hell is the matter with you? I said, my asthma's gone. I go, you heard me breathing earlier. It's gone. So it was gone. Okay? And so that's what your mind can do. It's the power of the divine working through your mind. And that's what spirituality can do for you. That's what I'm talking about, that empowerment. So what do you think that did for me when I knew I could do that? That said, to me, oh my God, what else can I do? What else am I capable of doing? I'm capable of doing a lot, and so is each and every single one of you are capable of doing it. So then, remember some of you know me on Facebook, so probably most of you. I cracked my rib because I was wrestling, right? With my husband, and I threw myself over his arm to grab the TV changer because he wouldn't give it to me. I said, give me the TV changer. You're making me crazy. No. Give me the TV changer. No. And before he could even see me coming, I leaped from, we have 2 couches. I leaped from the couch I was on onto the couch he was on. And he put up his arm to protect himself, and I hit it, and I heard it pop. Okay, so I went to the doctor. The doctor says, oh, that's going to take about 6 to 8 weeks to heal. And that was painful. Christ almighty, it was painful. I mean, really, it was painful. And that, I started working on it. I'm asking my mind, and it was like 3 weeks. I didn't think about it, and then about the 3rd week, I started doing it, and it was healed. But hurting. The next day, because I was in bed, that's my quiet time. That's usually when I'm doing all my mischievous stuff. That's why I go to bed so early. I got that selenite out. I got sage going. I have music going. Sometimes I'm listening to Chris's show, Curious Times, or sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm doing, all this other stuff. So when I do my centering and clearing work, I'm very, very happy the next day. If I don't, I'm always like held down. I don't feel good. So it's training your mind to tell your body not what you want it to do. Because the body is going to follow what my mind is like instructing what needs to be done in the body. Now, I'm working on right now, that's something I'm working on. I've got, my toes have been turning purple, the tips, when it's cold only, not in the summertime. And, I don't know if a lot of people know or not, I have really low blood pressure. So a lot of that is circulation, I know. So, I'm working on the circulation on my legs. And they haven't been purple, but we're going into summer. It's starting to get warm, so it's not a real good test. And it's also like sitting all the time, giving readings, writing, whatever I'm doing. I'm always sitting. Those feet are sitting there turning purple on the edge. So I'm starting to. Well, I'll get up and walk too, but at night I really work on my legs, and I'm telling my body with my mind what I want it to do. And so it's working. That's all I can say. And also, another thing that I did, just as an example, was So I had received a invitation to the Afterlife Conference in Phoenix. And this is a whole different set of group. There's a couple of these, but this is a different group of people. And, so I accepted it, and then I had, like a month later, thank God, it didn't get too close to, when the date was. My mom was sick, and I had to, cancel and go to California. And, so anyway, and so I swear to God, it was a week, and I was thinking, gosh, I wish that would come around again and somebody would ask me to do that. I would really like to go to that. And I thought, you know what? I really can go to that. And so I started seeing it, and a week later, I got the invitation to go. So is that weird or what? Isn't that amazing? I'm telling you, it's spirituality. So awaken to the infinite qualities of good within you through manifesting and expressing them more purely. The gift of wisdom also starts to surface. Wise and compassionate natures grow by responding to the true self's influence. And what they mean by true self is the soul's influence, okay? That's your closest connection, is to the soul to the monad to God, or source of all that is. So it goes along with it once you get to a certain amount of learning, and all it is, of course, taking the time to do it. Realize that the one creative power in all life is God. Okay, because this power is creative and part of us, it responds to us at our individual level of understanding. You have to understand that too. That God power is going to respond to you at your level of understanding. I always say realizations, because it is just a realization of something. All of a sudden, boom, you have a realization. Oh my God, like how I cured my asthma. That was a huge realization. It responds to the individual level of understanding of yourself, of reaching into all the other parts of who you are, doing the spiritual work through meditation, grounding, clearing, connecting. All those, they're really important. So your friend down the road, Mrs. Hicklebickle, is not going to have the same understanding and is not going to receive the same level that you're going to get. I'm getting a level of understanding that I can understand, and she's going to get that level that she understands, or vibration, or however you want to say it. So as you grow, that level of vibration of understanding changes constantly. It's changing. So even people who think, I've never ever done any spiritual work, I don't even really know what it is, they can get a level of understanding also in the way that they can understand it. To open up more to it, we have to let go of anything that limits our perception and stops us from recognizing it within ourselves and in all life and all people. So you can't, a very not good spiritual practice would be, I hate that woman over there, but I love myself. It doesn't work like that. So you have to be able to understand why you're hating that woman over there. What is it that's triggering you, why you hate that woman over there? When you come to that understanding, you can kind of let that go. And then you'll meet different types of people. And then you'll say, why is this triggering this emotion in me? And it could be for specific reasons. She reminds you of somebody. So you still have unresolved emotions and issues hidden deep within you. That's what spirituality does. It brings it all to the surface. Without self-conscious attunement to the all-pervading presence of the divine, the practice of meditation, prayer, and contemplation will be limited. So without self-conscious attunement. Yeah, and that's basically like what I just said. You have to attune yourself. You have to come into harmony with yourself. And then eventually you come into God harmony. And that's harmony with the divine. So, and even just opening a little bit of that will start that process. Just meditating. I swear, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. There are days when I only do 5 minutes. There's days when I won't do any longer than a half an hour. But if I'm doing energy work on myself, then I do usually, an hour will by, I won't even know it because I need it. So, and then I wanted to talk about, we're going to get into, Marie had asked me to talk about seeing. So, but I want to talk about, I just went over this with someone. Okay, so I always ask people, where do you think the chakras are? That's where I always ask people. And a lot of people think they're in the physical body. But they're not. They're in the etheric body. And for some reason, I'm on this campaign lately to make sure everybody realizes that. So your chakras are in your etheric body, which is a twin of you and has grid lines. It looks just like, it almost looks like chicken wire, but it's not. It's blue. And your chakras are in your etheric body that is over your physical body. That's why readers can look at the etheric body and see if there's something out of balance or maybe there's an issue coming up, like your joints are hurting, because they can actually see that on the etheric. Because a lot of times before it manifests into the physical, it manifests in the etheric. And that's where your chakras are. And your chakras are connected to the physical body, electronically, let's say, or vibrationally, to your glands. That's why your glands are so important. Your heart chakra is not connected to the physical heart. Your heart is for pumping. It's not for love and divine. The soul actually grounds into the thymus. That's the gland that is connected with the heart chakra. And there's different glands all throughout your body that are connected. I think I have a chart somewhere. I should have brought that chart, put up there. But the glands, like the base chakra, is connected. I don't know what gland is, but I know the second chakra is the sexual organs. Those are organs, yes. And then the further up, there's connected to the adrenals and to your thyroid and the parathyroid. And so they are connected to glands, organs, okay? So, but not your heart. Your heart has nothing to do with the heart chakra. And of course, they get information, right? Information in, information out, processing things, and that. So I want to make sure that people know that for some reason. Okay. So let's talk about looking at the rug or a towel or someone's skin, like when you're sitting across from them and you're giving them a reading. My face is so red, isn't it? Oh, man. So, like, if I'm giving a reading, well, let's just say I'm fooling around, okay? Like, this is what usually happens is when I'm on the pot, I'm in the bathroom, and there's a towel rack across on the opposite wall, and I always look at the towel. I don't know why. I'm just very drawn to the towel. I'm also drawn to the tile. And because when I look at the tile, faces come through. And I know. And so for me, I don't have to get in that space for it to happen. But there is called a psychic stare or a psychic gaze. And what that is, how you get there. No, art would, Karen said I need art in the bathroom to look at, but if it was art, it would be too defined. So that's why it has to be very abstract. So, I sit and I relax, and I guess on the toilet I really am relaxing, and, I'm just kind of doing my thing. And, but to get in that place, I take deep breaths in through the nose, and I hold it for a count of 4. I blow it out with a count of 4, in with a count of 4, hold with a count of 4, out. I only do that about 2 or 3 times. And then I close my eyes, and for me, I do a lot of grounding and centering. Like when I just closed my eyes, I just saw this woman who looked very old, with like bright red lipstick and messy hair. Anyway, so and then you can just get it, be in your bedroom and get a towel and throw it, put your knees up, and then throw the towel over your knees, and then just look at the towel. Now, I would probably, in the shower underwater, I see things transform from tiles. Yeah, water is a good conductor. And throw the towel over your knees, or just hold it in your hands, kind of folded up but loose. And then ask to see, and let your eyes really, really relax. And it's almost like they're going to go cross-eyed. You just let it go, and you let it go. After you're breathing, and you let it go. And then pretty soon, you might see a circle on the towel. Don't think about it. Just see it. Let it come through you, and just let it keep coming. Don't think about it. Get in that kind of in-between place. And I always say, you need to relax your eyes. So close your eyes and then open them, then let them go like they're cross-eyed, like kind of like that. Do they look kind of funny? That's like where they kind of go, and they're really, really relaxed. And there are things on the towel, because the towel has to have texture. So it has to be a thick towel. And then you'll see things then you'll notice the texture of the towel. All of a sudden, you start to feel the texture of the towel. The towel has this texture. And so you're just looking, your eyes are very relaxed, and you can just look in one spot and keep very relaxed, and more things will come. Faces, numbers, names. Today, before a reading I did, I kept saying Freddie. And I thought, well, I have a Freddie, my husband. And I was like, and I heard, no, not that one. And I went, oh, okay. And so I did the reading, and his father's name was Freddie, who's on the other side. So there's always a connection to something. I looked down on the tile. The tile is brown with brown, different colors of brown, and faces come up out of the tile. I've seen my mother in there. I've seen animals, children, and it's just, when you're on the toilet, you're kind of relaxed. And you can even see it on the droplets on the shower. You can see it in the water. The bubbles, you have bubbles. You can see it on anything. The carpet. Now, when I'm doing readings of people in person, which I don't do because I don't have an office. Yeah, there you go, Karen. You used to do that looking at the ceiling from my bed when you were a kid. It's so natural, but we send so, we just discard it. And I've even heard people say, well, that's just matrixing of the mind. And I'm like, it may be, and it may be a fact, but with somebody who's psychic or sensitive or intuitive, it means something. Because I can validate a lot of it. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes it's just astral, stuff I'm just picking up out of the ethers. But when it makes sense, oh boy, it makes good sense. I've done so many readings where I've gotten, and I mean not on the radio readings, so those have to go too fast, but readings where I've gotten to a place and I'm like, I don't know, let me look. Look at the carpet, and there will be, like the last time it said MM1, and I said, I see MM1. I go, do you know what that means? She goes, oh yes. So, you can't throw that information away. I mean, there'll be letters and names. So anyway, okay, so if you're sitting across from somebody, you can do the same thing with their skin. You can. And I used to notice that because I would walk into a restaurant, and my poor sister, I remember, I'd go, oh my gosh, they've got numbers all over their faces. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? I said, everyone I'm looking at right now has a number on their face. And it would be on their cheek or on their forehead. And I'm like, I found that overwhelming because it was like being in a weird movie or something. It was just so overwhelming. And I would just close my eyes and say, just stop it. And it would all stop. And I didn't see the numbers. They went away. But I'm sure that the numbers, when I see numbers on their skin, it has to do with their birthdays, or somebody close to them a birthday, or something that's coming up at that time. And then also, and in fact, when I do email readings, I ask people, I'll never forget this, I ask people to, from the waist up, and if they can show me their neck, this part, right here, I like to see the chest area and the neck, because even on email readings, the numbers and faces will come through on them. So I was doing this email reading, and that's how first I started out reading paintings and then went to email readings. So anyway, way in the beginning, this guy sends me an email reading, and he had no shirt on, and he was like all buffed out, to look all cool. I thought, oh my God. He took it way to the extreme. I didn't mean that. And I got the biggest kick out of that. And I've had women do that too in their bras. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. So what I do is I do I'm grounded, I'm centered, I'm all those things. I'm in my spiritual workings, and I do my breathing just to let go and get there. How I know I'm there is my head will start bobbing. And I can even ask questions from my subconscious and it'll bob yes or no. I've done that too, play games like that. And then see if you can validate it. That's always fun. That's a fun game to play with yourself. Anyway, so and then I look at the skin. And if you look at the heart chakra right here, I don't know if you can see me, like right here, there's a lot of information there. And if you look at the neck area, there's a lot of information. If you look at the third eye, look at the cheeks, the chin, the nose. I've seen things hanging off the nose. A lot of people who smoke marijuana, chronically, they get like this green gunky stuff that hangs on them, and it kind of hangs off their nose. It's I don't know why. My sister used to have that a lot. That's how I knew that. But so you can tell things about them. And then I look around their heads. on the forehead and things like that. And so when it appears, it's the same as reading a rug or a towel or the shower wall or tile or whatever it is. Now, like this tablecloth, I can't read. It has no texture, and it's got this weird chevron pattern to it. I don't like that. So, but the rug's perfect. And like this little ottoman here, it has too many pictures on it, and I would get lost in that. That's too much. Those curtains wouldn't work. There's not enough texture to it. A wall will work with texture if it's the right color. It has to be white. So, like when you look at the heart chakra, and you look here, you'll see maybe a face, and it'll be a man, or it could be a woman, it could be a child, and then you'll know that that's who they have in their heart. So you're kind of asking their soul to show you, and you're relaxing your eyes and yourself to condensation on windows and mirrors. Yes. I got really scared one time way back in the day. This was when I was messing in things I shouldn't have been messing in, because I had no intent, and I had no spiritual background or foundation to fall on. So when it happened, it scared me. But what happened was I came out, and there was writing on the steam on the. We don't even get steam here. It's so dang dry in Arizona, you know. Maybe a little bit. Maybe that's an exaggeration. But yeah, that can be messages too. But be sure to always set intent. You know, I want to hear good messages. I want to contact the higher spiritual realm, not anything else. And that was the same time that was happening. They were pulling on my shirt. I would lean up, I'd be putting, lotion on in the mirror or something, and they'd be jerking on the back of my shirt, pulling it. And I was like, okay, that's going to stop now. And then that's when the writing on the mirror, it was scary. It scared me. I was freaked out, okay? It's so literally. But back in those times, I was scared of everything because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I knew that I had this gift, but I thought everything was evil. I didn't understand it. I had to figure everything out. So back then, things really scared me. If you have a good foundation, which I think you do, Marie, I don't think, you're thinking all those things, then you can get messages. You can. And you can see pictures. Like when I'm in the shower stall, that sometimes will steam up, and I see faces in there. Yeah, and that's okay. Sometimes they're just astral entities, people. I don't know, coming from who knows where. Now, when I lived up north, I had closet doors that were made of redwood that was actually cut from the forest around there, because I lived way up north in California on the coast, and all the wood, of course, came from the redwoods, which is a horrible thought. But there was a tag on it, and I looked it up, and it was locally done. So, and they were very thin. They were wood. That's all they were. And I would look at that, and I would see trees and a whole family of elementals, and that's how they would show themselves to me, would be through the wood. The wood was still connected to tree elementals, tree spirits, stuff like that. Yeah, that was interesting. It was a man, a woman, and I remember it two smaller little, and they were small already, so it's interesting. It's all about getting yourself in the place where you can do it, where you're relaxed, where you're not like somebody's going to walk in or the phone's going to ring. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. See, the wood is really wonderful to look at. to get information from. Those closet doors were amazing. And every room had a story to tell, because we had 3 bedrooms, and in every bedroom they were there. The house wasn't made of redwood, just closet doors. So it's all about relaxing, letting your eyes go, and getting in that groove to see it. And I would start with a towel, and then I would write down what you see. Now, if it's like me, I mean, a lot of times when I see it, I forget it, because it's information. But sometimes I remember. It comes through and it comes in and it gone. Yeah. It would be easier to see that way. If it painted over, it would be taken off. I love wood. Wood floors, wood walls. And then our whole, that house, there had been a man who had died in that house. The man who lived there that we bought it from, he had a heart attack and died. He came up the back steps and then sat at the kitchen table and died while his wife was taking a shower. And I didn't know any of that, and I kept seeing this man sitting at the table with his head down, and I'm like, oh my God, he was everywhere in that house. And so then I talked to the neighbors, because they didn't have to tell us that when we bought the house, because it was a natural death. He had a heart attack. He was really old. And I talked to the neighbors, and they were like, I drew a picture of him the best I could, because he had a real square face, and it was him. Yeah, it was him. So I just asked him to go, leave. He loved that house. He loved it so much, and we did too. I never wanted to leave, and then we ended up leaving. There was good things came that too. Anyway, you know me, I can talk for 200 million years, so I need to wrap it up. So I hope that you understand about protection and the use of it. I don't like that word, but I have to use it. And also being able to do the things that you want. And like I said, if you want to be a hermit and you're okay with it, staying at home all the time, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it's making you sad and like you're missing out on something, then something has to change. And sometimes it can be working with somebody. It doesn't have to be with me. There's a lot of people that are very, very helpful in that and can teach you how to do it, and you can feel it. And then you can, work with somebody, then go out and try it and see if it feels better, if you got something out of it. And then go back to them to learn another step of it. Go step by step. But thank you so much, Marie and Christy. I appreciate that. And so there's a lot of things you can do. I know it's there. I used to ride motorcycles, all the gang of people and everything, and it never really bothered me. But it's like as soon as I really started working on things, it just opened me up so much more that it got to a point where I didn't, want to. Yet I was so sad because I wasn't doing the things I was doing before. And then when I started doing the spiritual empowerment and feeling that strength, it's like I have to knock it down a few inches, a few notches, because I can go too far the other way. And so you have to balance. It's all about the balance. Somebody just got a bass, and I was saying, it's all about the bass, but it's all about the balance too. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for listening and thinking about things. And I'll see you in a little while. Love you too, Shelby. And you guys have a great night. Good night.